What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Carnage, issue number 9. Now, Carnage has been on the loose, rejected by its former host, Cletus Cassidy. Now, on his own, he has found a new disciple in the likes of Kenneth Neely, a serial killer. What we have seen is the symbiote has been evolving. After attacking and stealing the powers of superpowered individuals, he traveled down to hell, hunting down his victim so that he could extract a symbiote codex, with Detective John Shade having the assistance of the voice of Cletus Cassidy inside of his head, a symbiote all on its own. They followed Carnage to hell trying to stop his madness. Now that they have failed, Carnage is on the loose. John Shade is trying to escape hell. But more importantly, we are going to learn exactly what Carnage has been going after. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up at the Forge of Gods, the place where some of the mightiest weapons in all of creation had been created, where they had been forged. This includes Mjolnir. And though this place was once a great spectacle to see, the bellows no longer have flame going to them. The ravens at the forge gates, they have long been dead, with the forge being silenced at a poetic end, unmade by a weapon of its own making. Its fires had been doused by the great hammer known as Mjolnir, as seen in Thor, God of Hammers. So many were killed that the forge had laid still and gray in mourning ever since that day. But that is not where the misfortune ends. Though this may have been a massacre of godly proportions, today is a different day. Because on this day, there will be carnage. That is where we pick up with Carnage just laying down the hate on what dwarves are here. Disembodying, murdering, just seeing blood spewed in all directions. Carnage is doing what he does best. Even at this point, Kenneth Neely wonders, why am I still following this guy? I thought there was a purpose. I thought there was beauty. But this is not. This is just death. This is just carnage. Carnage lets it be known that there is a purpose to all of this. This is what takes them to a jail cell. They have come looking for a very specific individual. Inside this jail cell, we have a dwarf letting Carnage know that before you bother to say anything, know that my answer will be no. Carnage going on to say that he wants to use the forge to make a fearsome weapon, the likes of which all of existence has never seen before. But again, the dwarf tells him no, to leave this place and try not to kill anybody on your way out. With Kenneth Neely coming in to say that we were told by Hela that you might be willing to work and make this weapon for us if we can guarantee your release. This is where he introduces himself. This is Drorin Runehewer. He is brother to Idri the Forge Master. But he had been imprisoned because he told his brother what he was unwilling to hear. He told his brother that the forges must be destroyed. For far too long, the gods had used their forges and their skill to make their toys, to make their weapons of war. Instruments of such power and beauty used like playthings in the pursuit of petty ambitions, of insignificant squabbles, of pointless and endless conflicts. And so of course, he was not surprised to hear that one of the weapons they created led to the very destruction of these forges. So now he must ask, why in the hell would he ever help Carnage? This is when Carnage lets us know that all of these years, they have had bloodthirsty warmongers break down their door in pursuit of silly things. Carnage can understand this, but Carnage believes that he is misunderstanding him, that he is mistaking him for one of these gods. While Carnage has ambitions, he is not here to partake in petty squabbles. He is here to kill them all. And that when there is none left, to kill some more. He wants this weapon, the greatest blade, whose singular purpose is carnage. What greater ambition exists than for a weapon to kill? With Drorin agreeing to this, saying that he is going to need material and assistance. That is what takes us over to the Great Well. We have Detective John Shade and his Cletus Cassidy symbiotes. They have made their way to the gateway, but upon coming here, he quickly learns that there is a guard, one that is unwilling to let him leave Hell without Hela's say-so. This is where we see John Shade and his symbiotes, half bonding, half not. John Shade goes in and he attacks the giant, piercing it through the heart and taking its ore. John Shade talking to Cletus. He recognizes that he was naive, that he was foolish. He believed that he could do this the right way. He believed that justice, that was the answer. Not recognizing till right now that he should have simply killed him and called it a day. But in his failure, we see the anger begin to boil up. We see that this is birthing a monster. John Shade wants a man of law and order. He is now a man who is much more like Cletus Cassidy than he would like to admit. Making his way through the gateway, this is what takes us back to the forge, with our dwarf and Kenneth working at great effort to create this weapon, to get the forge hot and ready. But Drorin knows, telling Kenneth that your companion, he is entirely mad, that he needs to be stopped, that he must be killed before he destroys all of them. Now, Kenneth doesn't believe that this can be done. After seeing everything that Carnage has done, he is terrified at the idea of going against him. But our dwarf lets us know that he is underestimating the forge. It creates weapons and tools capable of destroying and building whole realities in a moment. When Carnage fashions his blade, he assumes that it will be melded to his body like the rest of his weapons are. In that moment, they will have an opportunity. If they use the forge to strike at the heart of Carnage, the sheer amount of energy flowing through it, it should be enough to turn him into dust. This is why Kenneth asks, why would you risk this? Why would you risk your freedom and your life to stop Carnage? This is when he shows Kenneth that he had built something. In the prison all of those years, he built a traveling device that would let him escape from here, from this world, and he could travel anywhere he chose to go. All he needed to do was tap into the energy of the forge, something that he could do right now this instant. But he is choosing not to do this, because what he said, it still holds true. He believes that the forges need to be destroyed, that eventually there would come a weapon that would be the end of all of them. That day has finally come. It comes in the form of Carnage. Carnage wants a weapon that is created far superior to anything else that they have ever created. He refuses for the last act of his life to be creating the weapon that will end all of existence. Picking up with John Shade making his way through. He goes through that gateway not sure where they are headed. The Cletus Cassidy part of him letting him know that he knows exactly where to go. We are seeing that Cletus and John Shade, they are slowly becoming one, with John Shade being able to make it to the forges. We have Carnage and Runehuer, letting Carnage know that they are going to need a little bit of help with doing the forge, that they will need the extra hands. But moreover, he is curious to what kind of weapon Carnage would like created. He wants a sword created. He wants this sword created with the contents of a symbiote codex, because inside of this codex lies the memory of a sword. And this codex in the right hands could be seen as a design, as a template for the greatest blade of them all. the blade that was known as All Black, the Necro Sword, the Butcher's Blade. When this sword had been wielded, when Malekith had wielded the weapon, he took to the Venom symbiote to do so, the symbiote leaving its codex behind. The blade itself possesses power beyond knowing. This is what he wants. He wants his own version of All Black, but he is definitely gonna make some modifications. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. We have finally learned exactly what Carnage has been up to. He is trying to be his own God Butcher. He is creating his own All Black, planning to create a weapon far superior to All Black, something of which existence has never seen. But we do see that there are forces working against him, whether it be John Shade or our dwarf himself. They have plans of stopping Carnage before it is too late, before he gets a weapon that could absolutely decimate so many worlds, so many gods. The only question remaining, can they stop him before it is too late? Or are we going to see Carnage become the new God Butcher? Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with Carnage, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with this event. If you would like to help out the channel, go ahead and check out the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.